I don't know how else to say this, but you saying that it's wrong for you to be fat still perpetuates fat phobic ideals. I'm gay, and if I were gay and I was like, it's wrong for me to be gay, but everyone else it's fine, that's internalized homophobia. You're struggling with internalized fat phobia, which frankly is not my problem or any other fat person's problem either to deal with. Deal with this on your own, get off my page, just do better.
Not wanting to have a health condition does not mean you have internalized anything, except maybe common sense. There are no health conditions that automatically come with being gay, so your comparison to being fat and gay just doesn't work.
Sir, no offense, but what in tarnation are you talking about? I mean, first of all, you said you're personal friends with science. You know science. And then you listed some reasons why someone would look fat. And it had nothing to do with anything they did. They're just fat naturally. And then you want to say that's not an excuse to be fat. Well, honey, what would you have me do? I'm not making excuses. I eat my vegetables. I go to the gym. I am just naturally fat. It is genetics. You want me to starve myself so that you think I look sexy? Honey, no. That's not how this works. Not at all. And that's just something you're going to have to process. All right? I can't help you with that. Ask your friend Science, since you know him so well. Okay?
If you're working towards a huge goal and you're getting a bunch of pushback, this message is for you. Sometimes in our lives, we try to improve our situation, improve ourselves, or chase a dream. And this phenomenon happens where the people in our lives, or sometimes just haters on the internet, will say or do things to try to sabotage us or tear us down or instill doubt in ourselves. They'll say things like, who does she think she is? Or look at her, she thinks she's famous, how embarrassing. Or how's that little business going? Or even just saying things to make you doubt yourself, like, are you sure you can go to school and work full time? The reason why people do this is called the crab mentality. So crabs in a bucket, right? Imagine it. They could stack on top of each other and climb out, and the majority of them could make it out. But instead, they're all kind of fending for themselves, and they'll drag each other down, and then no one gets out. And people do this too.
This full motivational speech video goes on for about 3 minutes, and I don't feel a need for you guys to have to watch the whole thing. But these two videos, the contrast of her saying that she's naturally fat and that science proves she can't lose weight in the first video, and then her in the second video saying that you should work hard towards your goal no matter what the haters say, and that they all just have crab mentality. Like, girl, do you not see the hypocrisy? The fat acceptance movement goes on and on and on about how you can't lose weight and weight loss is impossible and our size is genetic. Like, come on, none of that is science-based, and all the fat acceptance movement is crab mentality.
I think we need to start normalizing feeling hungry and a calorie deficit.
The things that go on in diet culture TikTok never really surprise me. But this video, never mind the fact that you can lose weight and never feel hunger, I've done it before, but using your platform to normalize the feeling of hunger. Hunger is a physical response from your body telling you that you need fuel. Fuel to keep our bodies properly functioning. But you want to normalize it for people trying to lose weight, ignoring all the long-term consequences of intentional weight loss. Ignoring your body's needs for fuel for an extended period of time can be life-threatening.
First of all, let me say that normalizing calorie deficits and feeling hungry is bad advice for people with restrictive EDs. Don't starve yourself. But I think what the person in the video was talking about was normalizing feeling a little bit hungry while losing weight, while your body is fighting its normal appetite. When you're overweight, you have a larger appetite than smaller people, so you tend to feel hungry more often and you eat more food. So while you lose weight, you will deal with some feelings of hunger while your body adjusts to the calorie deficit until you reach maintenance weight. I can already hear some fat activists arguing, you're just proving that the body is happier at a larger size and that dieting is unnatural because you're fighting your own hunger. But no. Bodies tend to want to maintain themselves with whatever habits and at whatever size they're used to. It's why anyone who drastically changes their diet, be it a healthy or unhealthy change, will often feel sick. Talk to someone who went from regularly eating very little fiber every day to eating the daily recommended amount of fiber every day. They'll probably tell you that your body will take some time to adjust and that you're going to feel bloated for a little bit. But it isn't because the change was bad, it's because their body isn't used to it.
I usually make videos because I'm more of a lurker, but this has kind of been eating me up inside overnight. So I was like, I have to ask TikTok about this. I'm obviously a fat person, and I have seen all of the fat liberating videos. I love them. But this is something that I haven't seen mentioned before, so I was curious. My best friend is extremely tall, extremely thin. She has a very high metabolism. She has some health issues, and she is underweight. She told me yesterday that one of her doctors actually asked whether or not she wanted to be weighed because they didn't want to trigger her just in case she had an eating disorder. It got me thinking that as a fat person, nobody has ever asked for my consent to be weighed. Something about it just struck me the wrong way. I don't know. What do you think?
I think this is a non-issue. I don't think it's a big enough deal to even discuss in depth. I've never heard of a skinny or fat person being asked at the doctor if they want to be weighed until today, and it seems like you haven't either, which makes it a rare enough occurrence that we don't need to turn it into some talking point about fat versus skinny. Just leave it as a weird occurrence.
Okay, so I'm traveling from St. Catharines to Ottawa today, and I forgot how long of a f***ing trip it is, but anyway. One thing that I will never understand is why some people think that it is socially acceptable to f***ing talk on the phone for the entire 55-minute bus ride, especially when you're not on speaker. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a nosy motherfucker, so if you're gonna talk on the phone, put it on speaker so I can hear your side and the other person's side. But if I can only hear your side of the f***ing conversation, make the phone call some other f***ing time and not on the bus where other people can f***ing hear you, and it's annoying. And that's my thoughts for the day. Let's hope that doesn't happen on the train. Jesus.
I'm aware this video isn't fat acceptance related, but it's Marissa, so I feel justified putting it here. And I also need to comment on how weird the take she just made was. If someone is on public transport and they're having a conversation, she thinks they should put it on speaker. That would be so weird and annoying. Just put in headphones. Are you that bored? Are you that starved for human contact that you have to live vicariously through someone people actually want to talk to? What a weird stance to make. I don't understand it.
Besties, I just thought of something so hilarious. Listen up. This is from my fellow fatties. Love you guys. I was just thinking of the phrase glorifying obesity. What does that mean? Or more importantly, promoting obesity. Do thin people think that by being fat, we are going to convince other people to want to be fat? Are you admitting that we're hot? We are so hot that we're gonna convince other people to want to look like us? Because I love that for us. Honestly, yes, I am promoting obesity. Yes, I am glorifying obesity. F*** off. Like, wait. Do people really think that fat people existing will make other people want to change everything about them to want to be fat? I don't think that's what they mean. So what do they mean? It's so... what? I love it.
Glorifying or promoting obesity doesn't mean you are going to convince people to become fat. It more often means you are going to convince people to stay fat. That's the bigger issue, considering the fat acceptance movement targets vulnerable women that are dealing with their own insecurities and their bad relationship with food, and telling them that freedom from their problems will be achieved by blissful ignorance about the health implications of their size. That is what promoting obesity is.
Make one thing perfectly clear. Nothing that any of you say will ever change my opinion on myself. I have worked for a decade to get to a place where I'm comfortable with myself. Do you think I'm going to allow some random stranger with an anonymous profile to make me feel bad about myself? Absolutely not. You don't know anything about me, you don't know anything about my health, and there's no way in hell I am going to spend all that time learning to love myself, learning to accept myself, and then letting some little paragraph from somebody who's upset with themselves on the internet make me feel bad about myself.
This woman completely ignored the point of the comment. The comment basically said you shouldn't be telling people being obese is healthy, even if you're happy with your size. It wasn't the most tactful or kind comment, but it didn't actually say this woman should stop loving herself or that she should feel bad because of her size. But this woman took a complete tangent saying that haters will be haters, instead of addressing the fact that the comment mostly talked about the health implications of obesity. And even though this entire video was her reaffirming how much she truly loves herself, despite all the haters, it seems like this comment really did get to her in some way.